On the night of my wedding, when he came close to me that night. What happened next will leave you speechless. Rose petals danced over our bed and soft candlelight kissed the walls. I felt something I hadn't felt in decades, the thrill of being truly wanted. This is an incredibly emotional and romantic story. So make sure to subscribe to my channel and listen till the very end. You won't want to miss a moment. I had never thought a moment could change everything. But when he stepped into our wedding room, wearing that simple white kurta, eyes glowing with something between fear and desire, I knew nothing in my life would ever be the same again. He was just 20, and I was 40. People whispered behind our backs. Some called it foolish, others called it wrong. But no one saw what I saw in his eyes, truth. And no one heard what I heard in his voice, love. The room smelled of roses and sandalwood. Candles flickered across the walls, painting golden shadows over the maroon bedsheets. I sat at the edge of the bed, my heart pounding, my fingers cold. Even though my bridal dress was warm and heavy, I could hear my own breath. I could hear his footsteps as he entered. And for a second, time seemed to hold its breath. He closed the door slowly. Clicked shut behind him. The silence in the room turned dense. He didn't speak. Neither did I. He simply walked to me, step by step. Not rushed, not nervous, just steady. And when he reached me, he didn't touch me. He knelt down in front of me. I looked at him, startled. But he didn't look away. Instead, he held my hands gently in his and said in a voice just above a whisper, "I know the world sees this as a mistake, but you are the most right thing in my life." That moment shattered every wall I had built around my heart. I had met Rayan 2 months ago. He was the younger brother of my niece's friend, just back from college. Tall, kind, and curious. He looked at life like a mystery he wanted to solve. And somehow, I became part of that mystery. First, I ignored the little signs. The extra long glances. The questions he asked me about life, love, and what it meant to be happy after 40. I thought it was innocent. Just youthful admiration. But one night, while we all sat around a bonfire during a family trip, he sat beside me. Not too close, but close enough. Everyone else was laughing, singing, lost in their own chatter. But Rayan looked only at me. "Have you ever been loved the way you deserve to be loved?" he asked suddenly. I turned to him, surprised. "That's a big question for a 20-year-old. "I don't think love has anything to do with age," he replied calmly. "It has everything to do with honesty." I didn't reply that night. But his words echoed in my mind for weeks. He started finding reasons to talk. Then there were no more reasons. Just conversations that never ended. He didn't flirt. He never crossed lines. But he made me feel seen. And slowly, dangerously, I started looking forward to seeing him too. The day he proposed, I laughed. "You're a child," I said, trying to hide my racing heartbeat. "I may be," he replied, "but I know what I feel. And I know that it's real." I rejected him. I blocked his number. I even scolded him, telling him to find someone his own age. I told myself I was protecting him, and protecting myself from disappointment. But he didn't give up. He waited. Weeks later, on my birthday, I found a letter slipped under my door. It had no name, but I knew it was his. It said, "You taught me how to listen to silence. You taught me that pain can be beautiful too. And if I have to wait my entire life just to hold your hand for 1 minute, I will. But I'll never stop loving you." Cried. Maybe it was foolish. Maybe it was reckless. But maybe it was exactly what I needed. And so I said yes. Everyone thought I had lost my mind. A 40-year-old woman marrying a 20-year-old boy. My relatives cut ties. My friends gave me lectures. But when I looked into Rayan's eyes, I saw a future I had stopped believing in. The wedding was simple. No loud music, no big halls. Just us, our families, a few soft lights, and the beating of 2 hearts that didn't care about the rules of the world. And now here we were, our wedding night. He still hadn't kissed me. He was waiting. "I don't want you to feel uncomfortable," he said, still on his knees. "I just want to be near you." If that's all we ever have tonight, I'm okay. I cupped his face with my hands, feeling the smoothness of his youth, the tenderness of his soul. How did you know? Yes. Know what? That I was ready to love again. He smiled. Because I saw the way you looked at the sunset. Like it reminded you of something you thought was gone forever. I leaned in and kissed his forehead. And then softly our lips met. Not hurried, not wild. Just deep, slow, and full of everything we hadn't said in words. He sat beside me on the bed, wrapping his arms around me from behind. My back against his chest. His breath warm on my neck. I don't know how to do this, I whispered. Me neither, he replied. Let's learn together. That night wasn't about bodies. It was about hearts. About finding shelter in someone's arms. About the safety of being known without judgment. We lay together, tangled in silence, listening to each other's heartbeat. He kissed my fingers one by one. He whispered things that made my chest ache in the best way. I will never compare you to anyone, he said. Because you are my first. And my forever. The days that followed were even more surreal. He'd wake me up with breakfast and jokes. We'd sit on the balcony in the evenings, him resting his head in my lap as I read poetry. He wanted to learn how to cook, so we made burnt parathas and laughed till we cried. But even in laughter I feared something. What if he regretted me one day? What if time wore away the magic? One night I couldn't hold it in. I'm afraid, I said, lying beside him under the stars. He turned to face me. Of what? That you'll wake up one day and realize you wanted a girl your age. Someone who can give you what I can't. He held my face in his hands and kissed my forehead again. You give me peace, he said. You give me strength. No one my age has lived the storms you've survived. And there is nothing more attractive than a woman who knows her own worth. I cried again, but this time it was relief. Weeks turned into months. The world slowly stopped staring. Our love became something normal to those around us, but it never became normal to us. It remained special, fragile, beautiful. One afternoon, while cleaning the closet, I found a box. Inside were photos of my past, memories I had buried. Rayan came in and found me sitting there, tears on my cheeks. He didn't ask why. He just sat beside me, held my hand and said, I may not have been in your past, but I promise to be your best future. I looked at him and knew. This wasn't just a romance. This was a rescue. He didn't save me because I was broken. He loved me because I was whole. And yet still needed someone to hold. And now, as I write this, with him in the next room humming a song he made just for me, I finally understand. Love doesn't check calendars. It doesn't ask for permission. Arrives, takes over, heals. When he came close to me that night, what happened truly left me speechless. Because he didn't just touch my skin. He touched my soul.